So here's a problem that can happen to any Samsung TV at random. Usually this problem happens when someone's ordered a board off of eBay or something and they get the wrong board and put it in their TV. But what happened in this case is last night we had a thunderstorm roll through here, and I turned on the TV to watch the news, and this is what I get. Now this is the TV I replaced the buffer board on last year, the one with the cracked screen. Yes, it's still got a cracked screen. Yes, it still works. And what's happened here is something's been corrupted on the control board, and the LVDS format has changed. And say usually you run into this problem when someone's ordered a board from eBay or one of these parts suppliers, and they've just pulled a board out of a TV and it came with a different type of T-Con board or a different type of control board. This being a plasma, there's no T-Con board in this, but there is a control board which does the same thing. And basically your signal board has to pass a signal from the signal board over to the timing controller or to the control board. And it does it over what's called an LVDS, or low voltage differential signaling cable. And there's a couple different formats for LDVS. And if the LVDS format is incorrect, you're going to get a distorted picture like this. I'll show you how to go about fixing that. So the first thing you got to do is you have to put the TV on, and you have to get the TV on in what's called service mode. So to do that on Samsung, have the TV off, you need the original remote control. And to do it, you enter on a Samsung, and all TVs are different, but this is for a Samsung. You enter the code mute 182 followed by the power. Okay, my TV is now on, and I'm just going to zoom in here on what we need to look at. So up in the top corner of the screen, you're going to see some options on here. You're going to see options and ADC, WB, control, and advanced. I want to select the one that says, I think it's options. We're over here, options, and press the enter key. Nope, it's not options I want. Let's go back. I press the menu key to get back. I want to go down to control. Here's control. Press options. There we go. And I want to get into the one called sub options, which is that one. Press OK. And here we go. Panel time. I put 620 hours on this thing since I replaced the buffer board in it, and I reset everything. Well, actually, I tried resetting it first to see if it was just a setting before replacing any boards. But if I reset the timer on this thing, go down to where it says LVDS format, and this one right now it says it's in JEIDA, and I'll just press the. So I'm doing this using the navigation controls here. Let me just zoom the camera back so you can see what I'm doing. So once I selected LVDS format, I'm just going to press the right arrow key, and that'll bring up, it'll enter that mode, and then I can just change it by pressing the right arrow key. I can change it to Visa, which is what format this TV uses. And that's it. That has fixed this problem. So if you get a TV that looks with a scrambled picture like that, you can fix it by usually changing the LVDS format to the correct format for the board that's on your TV. Now that we're in this service menu, though, we can have some fun. If I press the menu or the menu key to go back, if I want to go down to say test patterns, I mean, we have all kinds of options I don't want to bother getting into. Like hotel options. If this TV was being used in a hotel, for example, they could limit the volume by going to the hotel options and press OK, or press the enter key. This is where you can put hotel mode on if you want. And when you put hotel mode on, now you can go in and you can select the band that it goes on. You can set the maximum volume. You can lock the panel buttons on the set. You can lock the picture controls. You can lock everything down so that the person staying in the hotel can't monkey with the TV, but we don't want that, so I'm going to turn that off. So everything's now grayed out. If I press the menu key again to get back, shop options would be if the TV was being used in a retail environment. So we're not going to put that on. Test patterns. Well, this is where it gets kind of cool. So we have two different types of test patterns. We have the M-star test patterns. I think that would be master test pattern, and logic test patterns. If we go down to logic test patterns, for example, and turn it on, now we can select all kinds of different test patterns. As you can see, if I zoom in down here, here's the crack on the screen. You can see it. And, oh, I've been a bad boy. I've been watching Global TV, which is about the only thing I ever watch on this TV. It comes on every morning and plays the news, and I've managed to burn Global News, their stupid bug that's on the screen. I've managed to burn that. You can actually see the time too. I watch it every day at the same time between 7 and 8 in the morning. You can see the 7. So I've managed to burn the Global News logo into my screen. But there's the little crack that was in the screen that was given to me. So I'm not too worried about the burn-in because, again, the screen's got a crack on it. But if we go back to the test patterns, to cycle through them, you just use the right arrow and the left arrow key. And it's not going to probably pick up on the camera because the camera is going to go into it's going to change the shutter mode. Let me just go into my settings on the camera and set it for 1/60th of a second. Then we won't get this banding. There, now I've changed my camera down to 1/60th of a second, so that should try to eliminate the banding, because what happens when the screen is bright is the camera tries to increase the shutter speed to, instead of closing down the iris, the camera will try to increase the shutter speed so that the iris can be kept open more, and that gives you a shallower depth of field. That's how the cameras try to shoot, for giving you good depth of field. Okay, if I cycle through here with the right arrow key, it'll go through a green screen and a blue screen, and then you get your different patterns that you can put up on the screen. Every time I press the right arrow button, I will cycle through the different patterns, including color bars. To put up a grid, that would be a good one to leave. You could burn that into the screen if you left that on too long. Dots, window chart, grayscale, the crack in the screen shows up quite good there. You don't normally see it when you're watching TV, but on test patterns you sure do. And then the scrolling bars. This is the same pattern you would get into through the normal consumer menu for trying to clear off any burn-in. And if I left this sitting here long enough, that would probably erase the Global News shadow that's on the screen here from burn-in. That's at least what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to erase that. And again, as I scroll through the different test patterns, and that's a more intense version of the screen clearer that is supposed to eliminate burn-in or reduce burn-in. And basically what it does is it just burns the rest of the screen evenly. So you don't really want to use these patterns unless you absolutely have to, because leaving this up on the screen for an excessive amount of time, it does draw the maximum power, and it can eventually wear the screen phosphorus out. That's what it's designed to do, is to burn the rest of the screen slightly so that it'll mask that. And it is quite a noticeable burn-in, if you can see it right down there. At the bottom of the screen there. Anyway, as we scroll through, there's a bunch of different test patterns that the set has, and then we're back to regular TV. So then, just to get out of the service mode, just turn the set off, and that's it. And as you can see,
the stories we're following this hour. Balcony collapse.
There it is. I've got the local TV station on here. This is just off broadcast TV. See, there's that bloody logo that burns in. They love to put that big, bright logo. And good news. Our post office is not going out on strike. That's always good to know. Anyway, that's how it looks. As I say, this TV I got given this to me last year. Had a blown buffer board. I've put $15 into this thing. TV's been great. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now. Well, here's something I didn't think I'd ever find. Take a look at the image up here. You can see very clearly, I'm just pointing this security camera at a white piece of paper, and you can see very clearly images from where it was pointed when it was in operation. You can see the outline of doors and windows. You can see the door frame here, on the bottom of the image. This was a camera that was in my backyard. And even though these solid-state CMOS cameras aren't supposed to burn, they do. I noticed this when this camera was going to be repurposed, and the complaint was you could see an image on there, a ghost. And when I took a closer look at it, yes, you can. You can see a prior image. So CCD and CMOS cameras do burn in. I mean, it's not super noticeable, but you do see it.